intelligent, sharp like the edge of a blade. Every move I make is a power play. Grace in my stride, wisdom in my mind. Alignment over approval. Choosing yourself without guilt. Welcome back to Becoming Her. I'm your host, Colina Chippy. And today I'm talking about something that transforms a woman from the inside out. Choosing alignment over approval, choosing yourself without guilt, and finally honoring the version of you that is rising. There comes a moment in every woman's journey where being aligned with your spirit becomes more important than being accepted by people. And that moment changes everything. The pressure to please. For so much of our lives, we're taught we're taught to be pleasing. We're taught to keep the peace. We're taught to avoid conflicts. We're taught to soften our voice, to ignore our needs, to stay small, to make others comfortable. We don't even realize how much of ourselves we give away just trying to be liked, accepted, or approved. And little by little, we lose pieces of who we really are. The feeling of misalignment. You know that tight feeling in your chest, the heaviness in your spirit, the whisper that keeps saying, something isn't right. That's misalignment. Misalignment doesn't scream. It gently warns. It tells you you're shrinking. It tells you you're dimming. It tells you you're betraying your truth. Misalignment, is your spirit saying, this is not who you are anymore. Before we dive deeper, I want to quickly share something close to my heart. My book, Becoming Her, A Journey Back to Myself, it is filled with the same wisdom, healing, and alignment we talk about right here. If you feel called to grow deeper, the link is in the description and you can check it out at any time. The moment you choose you. There is a moment in every woman's life where she becomes tired. Not tired physically, but tired spiritually. Tired of pleasing, tired of shrinking, tired of sacrificing her peace, tired of pretending she doesn't know what she knows. And in that moment of spiritual exhaustion, a shift happens. You stop chasing. You stop explaining. You stop tolerating. You stop betraying yourself. You finally say, I choose me. What alignment looks like? Alignment looks like choosing peace instead of pressure. Saying no without guilt. Learning to listen to your intuition, protecting your energy, trusting your inner guidance, walking away softly, being honest with your soul, resting without apologizing, choosing what feels authentically you. Alignment is not always glamorous. It is not always easy. It is not always understood. But alignment is always worth it. Yeah? The guilt that comes from or with growth. When you start choosing yourself, guilt shows up, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something new. Guilt is not truth. Guilt is a pattern, and patterns can be unlearned. Whenever guilt rises, remind yourself, I am allowed to choose me. I am allowed to protect my peace. I am allowed to outgrow what no longer fits. Approval is fragile. Alignment is rooted. Approval shifts like the wind. One day people love you, the next day they question you. The day after that, they misunderstand you. Approval is unstable. It depends on who is watching, who is talking, and who is projecting. But alignment is rooted. It comes from your spirit. It comes from God. It comes from inner truth. No outer validation. Approval feels good. Alignment feels right. You don't need permission to be you. Let me say that again. You don't need permission to be you. You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need permission to change your mind. You don't need permission to choose peace. You don't need permission to grow. You don't need permission to honor your intuition. Approval is optional. Alignment is essential. The energy shifts when you live in alignment. When you start living in alignment, everything shifts. Your decisions become clearer. Your spirit becomes lighter. Your voice becomes stronger. Your presence becomes softer but more powerful. People feel it. Life feels it. You feel it. Alignment is magnetic. It draws in everything meant for you and repels everything that isn't. How to stop over-explaining yourself. Over-explaining is one of the biggest signs of misalignment. It is constantly justifying your choices, constantly defining your boundaries, constantly convincing people to see your heart. But here's the truth. A woman who knows her worth does not explain herself to people who are committed to misunderstanding her. Your decisions are yours. Your boundaries are yours. Your intuition is yours. You do not need to explain what God revealed to you. Becoming the woman who walks in her truth. Becoming aligned is not a final destination. It's a daily choice. Becoming the woman who walks in her truth means being guided by your spirit, honoring your boundaries, choosing peace even when it's misunderstood, trusting yourself deeper every day, saying yes to what's yours, saying no to what is not. She's soft, but she's unshakable. She's gentle, but she's grounded. She evolves and she honors every version of herself along the way. And if this message resonates with your spirit, you love my book, Becoming Her, A Journey Back to Myself. It's a soft guide for women who are becoming, The link is below, and feel free to call to it. If it calls to you, rather, the link is below. If you feel called to read it, go ahead and click the link to purchase. And in closing, thank you for joining me for today's episode of Becoming Her. Choosing alignment over approval is not just a decision. It is an act of self-love, self-respect, a spiritual awakening. When you choose alignment, you rise, you soften, you evolve, you become. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, trust your intuition, honor your truth, and remember, you are already her. You're just aligning with her more every day. Thank you. Thank you. See you in the next episode.